Look, you have the Republicans in just total disarray right now that MAGA has taken over the party. We previously discussed how Donald Trump put out a statement saying that he wants his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, to become the co-chair of the RNC to replace Ronna McDaniel. And Donald Trump says, quote, "Every penny will be used properly," referring to the funds, the donor money given to the RNC. It should be noted that Lara Trump purportedly ran a dog charity that funneled millions of dollars to Trump-related properties. And then Lara Trump just last night went on a round of interviews with right-wing media, and she said that every single penny, every single dollar, to basically take the phrase from Donald Trump's statement about every penny will be used properly, she says that means that every penny will be used for Donald Trump, not for any other Republicans out there. All of the money from the RNC from here on out goes to Donald Trump. This is Lara Trump on one of these right-wing propaganda networks. Play the clip.
If I am elected to this position, I can assure you there will not be any more $70,000 or whatever exorbitant amount of money it was spent on flowers. Every single penny will go to the number one and the only job of the RNC. That is electing Donald J. Trump as president of the United States.
And at the same time Lara Trump was doing that, you had MAGA Republican James Comer still fixated on impeaching President Biden and calling in phony witnesses after phony witnesses, from fake whistleblowers that didn't exist to whistleblowers who purportedly were dead to whistleblowers complaining about things from 2018 when Donald Trump was in office. And now James Comer is, also, they remember when they claimed there were 17 audio recordings of President Biden, and that didn't exist here. James Comer accuses various Democrats of engaging in witness intimidation today. Here, play the clip.
I've never seen such witness intimidation as what I saw today. And it wasn't necessarily from the Democrat staff who were leading the deposition. It was from the members. It was from Jamie Raskins. It was from Goldman. It was from Garcia. It was from Crockett. They were there. They were wagging their fingers. They were pointing. They were yelling. They were calling Tony Bobulinski a liar. They were telling him to shut up. Wow. Tony Bobulinski is an American hero.
Speaking about things that happened in 2018, MAGA Republican Congress member Chuck Edwards said that one of the reasons he's voting to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security, who did indeed get impeached or got impeached by the MAGA Republicans, Chuck Edwards says it's because of scenes like this that Alejandro Mayorkas allowed to take place. You see that caravan right there? And then Chuck Edwards posts a photo of President Biden and said, "I did that." Well, idiot. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to attack on an ad hominem level. Excuse me, sir. If you look at the photo, it's from 2018 when Donald Trump was in office, where there were caravans and 4,000 crossings every day before COVID hit, and there was a mass casualty event in the United States and throughout the world. So, Chuck Edwards, you are posting a photo of when Donald Trump was in office, but don't let the facts get in the way of MAGA Republicans who seem like all they're trying to do is undermine our national security by killing a bipartisan border deal. That was the toughest border deal ever negotiated, and the lead negotiator was a Republican senator from Oklahoma, James Lankford. And then MAGA Republicans now saying, well, we're not going to fund Ukraine. We're going to kill any funding to Ukraine. This is what the MAGA Republicans in the House of Representatives are saying, until there's a border bill that y'all just killed. Because let's face it, the MAGA Republicans are not being serious at all. Here's the moment, though, however, where you had MAGA Republican MAGA Mike, Speaker of the House, high-fiving after they impeached Alejandro Mayorkas on Tuesday. Play the clip. Here's the moment that vote took place to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas, because that's where the MAGA Republicans are spending their time, as Democratic Congress member Jared Moskowitz said. So I guess now you've impacted editing a Wikipedia page. That's about it. But here's the moment that they impeached Alejandro Mayorkas by a vote of 214 to 213. Play the clip.
On this vote, the yeas are 214 and the nays are 213. The resolution is adopted.
Right here, you have MAGA Republican Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. She's on CNN with Brianna Keeler. And just take a look at how Brianna Keeler handles this. This is textbook journalism right here. Great work, Brianna, on this one. Play the clip.
And we had a fantastic partnership with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, where we actually worked with them to remove criminal illegal immigrants in our communities, because we saw the amount of crime that was being caused. We saw the people that they were preying upon was other people that were in our country illegally. As a result of that partnership, our crime rate dropped and we became the 5th safest city in the country. Those partnerships work. Enforcing our laws work. What we have seen is the exact opposite under this administration, and you have seen people dying.
Let me stop and ask you about this. A couple things. First off, illegal immigrants criminal conviction rate is 45% below that of native-born Americans in your state, just to be clear. When you raise the specter of they create so many crimes, they're convicted. I mean, when it comes to violent crimes, property crimes, homicides, sex crimes, you've talked in the past about rapes, the numbers just don't support that. But let's focus on catch and release.
Because your argument is we're defending those people who are here illegally.
Can we focus on catch and release? Because you
brought up the question. I just want to make sure we're responding.
I just fact-checked
it sounds like you're
defending.
It sounds like you were defending those immigrants who are here illegally that were beating our police officers.
No,
and saying because we've got people who are here illegally that do it
I did not
it's
say
okay.
that. No,
it's
I absolutely
not okay, and they should not be in our country.
Ma'am, I absolutely do not think that is okay. And anyone watching that video, I think should look at that and absolutely say that's not okay. So I think you're really misunderstanding where I'm coming from. No, that's not okay. Let's talk about catch and release. This is obviously huge for Republicans and really for anyone.
Here's MAGA Republican Carrie Lake attacking the late great Senator John McCain and saying we don't want McCain Republicans anymore. Play the clip.
We don't have any McCain Republicans in here, do we? All right, if you want to get the hell out. It was the party of McCain. And it was I know. It was bad. Boy, Arizona has delivered some losers, haven't they? But we have some winners as well. We've got Wendy Rogers right there.
In a resounding 24-3 vote, the Arizona Senate has censured Senator Wendy Rogers.
Lawmakers condemning the District 6 Republican for her support of white nationalism and threats of violence against her opponents.
Right, Wendy? She is the toughest woman I know.
I do not apologize. I will not back down.
And we have so many heroes just like Wendy here in this state.
Nick and the other patriots in attendance at AFPAC, please keep doing what you are doing.
Nick is this man, Nick Fuentes.
Fuentes himself has expressed Holocaust denial and a love of the kind of genocidal fantasies and the most vicious forms of racism and bigotry you can imagine.
Can we show you a little bit of normalcy for a moment, though, here? This is Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries talking about, can we actually get things done? Play the clip.
There are more than 300 bipartisan votes in the House of Representatives to pass the national security bill today. More than 300 bipartisan votes. It's not too much to ask in America's national security that we get an up or down vote and let the House of Representatives actually work its will, as opposed to allowing Donald Trump to work his will and block our national security priorities.
It's another clip of Hakeem Jeffries during an interview with Jake Tapper on CNN. Play the clip.
Let's talk about border security. While I understand that you find the maneuver offensive, do you not see that the move by Governor Abbott of Texas to bus migrants to Democratic-leaning cities such as New York or Chicago or Denver, that while you might think it's cruel, it has been effective at demonstrating how this influx of migrants has sapped social service resources and demonstrated that this is a real crisis. Do you agree with that?
Well, Governor Abbott is an embarrassment and a human trafficker. But besides his political gamesmanship, I do think it's important for all of us, Democrats and Republicans, to recognize that we have a broken immigration system. We do need to address the challenges at the border, and it should be done in a manner that is comprehensive and bipartisan. That will be the only way to solve this problem. We're in a period of divided government. Common sense dictates, Jake, that we have to work together to solve the challenges that we confront at the border. The American people know this. The only question is whether members of Congress on the other side of the aisle will recognize that their my way of the highway or the highway approach is not an effective strategy at this moment. It's just designed to score political points. Now, we support a border that is strong, that is secure, and that is humane. And it's important for Congress to work together in a common sense, bipartisan way to get that done.
Here is Michael Cohen on our podcast together, Political Beatdown, where he predicts that exactly what Lara Trump was going to do. He perfectly predicts it. Play the clip.
Now, I got to be very clear on this. Lara's an idiot. And I don't say it to be mean. I say it because it's true. In fact, first and foremost, Donald didn't even like her for many, many years. He didn't want Eric to even marry her. He had found somebody else that was working at the Trump organization that he wanted Eric to marry. All right, that's to start. And of course, not only did Donald make fun of her looks, but so, of course, did Don and Ivanka. They all made fun of her looks. They just didn't like her at all. I was at a fundraiser at the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C., when Donald finally told the story on what broke the ice between him and Lara Trump. This is a true story. You can't make this stuff up. Even if you tried, you couldn't make it up. He goes on to say that he's watching television and he sees this girl, this blonde, talking about him on television, and it caught his attention. And he's like, whoa, these are like beautiful things. These are incredible, beautiful things. And then he looked and he realized, oh my God, that's my daughter-in-law. That's Lara Trump. And from that moment on, as he called it, it was a love fest. This is a true story. I wish I could make this stuff up. I wish my imagination was that good. He couldn't stand her until she started kissing his ass. Well, what do you do when somebody's kissing your ass? Make them the, co-chair of the RNC. The real question that you have to ask yourself, how over her skis is she as it relates to being a co-chair for the RNC? I mean, how insane is that? That she doesn't even understand what the legitimate purpose is. She's only being installed there in order to do what Donald wants with all of the money that's going to be raised. Every dollar that you give to that RNC will somehow find its way into Von Schitz and Pants's pocket.
And finally, let me show you this clip right here of President Biden so we can have just show you some normalcy at the top, like what normalcy looks like. And, hopefully independents, not just progressive liberals, mainstream Republicans, independents are paying attention to this. Because this is just normal. It's just normal stuff. This is what an American president's supposed to talk and sound like. Play the clip.
I mean that. The rest of the world looks to us. The stakes are already high for American security before this bill was passed in the Senate last night. But in recent days, those stakes have risen. And that's because the former president has sent a dangerous and shockingly, frankly, un-American signal to the world. Just a few days ago, Trump gave an invitation to Putin to invade some of our allies, NATO allies. He said if an ally didn't spend enough money on defense, he would encourage Russia to, quote, do whatever the hell they want, end of quote. Can you imagine a former president of the United States saying that? The whole world heard it. The worst thing is he means it. No other president in our history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I never will. For God's sake, it's dumb, it's shameful, it's dangerous, it's un-American. When America gives us word, it means something. When we make a commitment, we keep it. And NATO is a sacred commitment.
Worth showing you this as well. This is Nikki Haley, I think, appropriately going after Donald Trump for Trump's attack on her husband for not being at her campaign while he's overseas and deployed as a member of the National Guard. Play the clip.
Sounds like you are rethinking your pledge to support him if he's the nominee.
What I'm thinking is y'all need to ask him what he has to say about that, because he owes a lot of military families an explanation with that. He owes a lot of veterans an explanation on that. You don't disrespect someone who's done something that you weren't willing to do. He was not willing to go overseas, but supposedly because he had bone spurs. He's never been near a military uniform. He has no right to talk about anything that a service member does, because that's off limits with him when he wasn't willing to serve himself.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let's get to 3 million subscribers. Let's keep sharing the info, share these clips, share this data. We need to educate people about what's going on. Thanks for watching. Let's get to 3 million subs. Hit subscribe right now. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.